essentially there are two ways to sell your products to, let's say mid-sized enterprise company. It's a bottom-up approach when you have an amazing product, and essentially it's more like basically people love it and engineers love it, or whoever is the end user loves it, and then they basically push their bosses to make a decision about this product. And then the second approach is basically top-down, right? So when you have a top-down approach, you basically have a great relationships with the management, and this management knows that you are capable of kind of refining products, solving problems, and then they basically make a decision, and then you need to do onboarding. LinkedIn outreach doesn't work, in my experience. Email marketing doesn't work. I'm not, when you send him 1,000 or 15,000 emails and one replied, for me, it doesn't work.
That's a low ratio.
You might argue, oh, it worked, but it doesn't. Advertisings, target, even target advertising, like any LinkedIn, Google Ads, doesn't work.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Bricks and Bytes podcast, where we dive into construction and AEC technology. Before we get started though, if you're a startup founder or operator responsible for innovation in your company, or you want a deeper, more insightful look into technology in AEC, you won't want to miss our newsletter. From deep dives into particular technologies such as AI, robotics, design, software, and so on. Hot takes from investors betting big in AEC technology, and advice on building tech companies, including the stories and takeaways of the most successful AEC technology founders. Head over to www.bricks-bytes.com and sign up today to get this exclusive material straight to your inbox. And now for the episode. Major construction projects are complex, and construction managers know that every day things don't go as planned. Unfortunately, most don't know what and why until it's too late. The best construction leaders know that the secret to delivering on schedule is for everyone to be planning together, committing to targets, and tracking their performance every day. By combining look-aheads, weekly work plans, visual staging diagrams, and daily activity briefings into one multiplayer platform, AFEX is where the world's leading projects are planned and coordinated. Join the largest projects and contractors across Europe, the UK, Asia, Australia, and New Zealand, and discover why at afex.co.
All right, Maxim. Well, good to have a fellow Londoner. Actually, do you classify yourself as a Londoner now? I know, obviously, your roots are not quite from London.
Let's put it in that way. I love London and I love living here. So I don't know. I'm here like for 4.5 years. So
yeah, I think you're on your way.
Close.
All right. So yeah, Maxim, first question really is, you are now on your second company within the world of AEC tech. First one was Creo, which was AI-powered takeoff software. And It seems like you have gone into something slightly different. So what are you doing differently this time?
Okay. Yeah. So look, first of all, in Creo, we built like a bunch of different products. So we actually built takeoff software. We built built-in design automation software like Schema. And we also built PVFarm originally in Creo. So that we were developing like 3 products essentially. And at some point we realized that it's too diverse and it's too hard to do like proper marketing, and we needed like lots of money to continue building those products. So me and basically Magomed, CEO of Creo, we decided to start considering like a spin-offs of those products. So, and that's exactly what we did. So we did a spin-off with PVFarm. We found a partner, sold basically this technology to the partner. And one of the conditions was that I'm living with my team to continue to pursue this initiative. And that's how I basically opened Sunbeam, London-based company, my company, and with the whole engineering team for PVFarm hired in there. And then we made basically partnership with the partner from the United States, and we created PVFarm. And that's basically the product that's built by Sunbeam team. And yeah, we continue working on this. I'm still like supporting a lot people in Creo, some Creo shareholder. So I'm still involved in many things, not day to day, but I'm helping my folks there. And another technology with Spinoff as well is a schema. So Yeah. Actually, well, if you will be considering talking to some people, I would definitely suggest you to talk to product owner of Schema,
I think
Nikita.
we are. I think we are. SKEMA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Martin. Okay, yeah, I'm glad you said that.
So
Martin spoke to I think the founder a couple of weeks ago, and he was quite blown away. He doesn't often send messages when he speaks to people, but he sent me a message like, "Wow, that guy's interesting."
nice. Yeah. So yeah. Definitely. Yeah. That's basically how I ended up in Sunbeam, and mostly like 90% of time I focused on PVFarm basically.
Yeah. What did you learn
Uh,
from Creo that you're drawing across to bringing across to Sunbeam and PVFarm?
yeah. Like in the simplest way, don't build the shitty products for the problems that don't exist.
Fair enough.
Okay, it's okay. Let's unwrap
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Essentially, a couple of things. Market understanding of the market, of the problems, of the value chain is crucial. Is way more crucial than technology itself, in my opinion.
Mm.
Maybe this is because we had technology, but we didn't have this understanding. This is why I kind of, took away this conclusion. But it is what it is, right? Second one, go to market and how you sell stuff. In AEC, it's a very unique industry, in my opinion, and not in terms of like how people actually adopt technology, but more like how people buy technology. So I think understanding of it is a crucial, and we didn't have this understanding at early days.
Mm.
We spent a lot of money to learn this hard ways. Yeah.
What were they? What did you like? What did you notice? What was so difficult?
It wasn't clear from the very beginning that all sales are based on relationships and trust. And it wasn't really clear that essentially there are two ways to sell your products to, let's say mid-sized enterprise company. It's a bottom-up approach when you have an amazing product, and essentially it's more like basically people love it and engineers love it, or whoever is the end user loves it, and then they basically push their bosses to make a decision about this product. This is one way, right? For such approach, you need to have an excellent product. You need to really have a great product. And then the second approach is basically top-down, right? So when you have a top-down approach, you basically have a great relationships with the management, and this management knows that you are capable of kind of refining products, solving problems, and then they basically make a decision, and then you need to do onboarding. You still need to kind of take those engineers on board, or like whoever is the end user of the tool. But essentially, those are two different strategies. And like I would say, the first one requires like you having a great product, and it's not surprising that we AEC actually don't have too many great products.
Yeah.
And then even like founders who think that they built a great product, I mean, obviously we all need this a little bit of faith and motivation
Of
for our
course.
engineering stuff. But we all, speaking not only for myself, but for pretty much all founders in the AEC, especially if it's a like design problem or pre-construction problem, construction problem, it's not easy to build a great product. So this is why in most cases, the first strategy, it won't work if your product is shit, basically. So, and then for the second approach, you need to have a well-established relation. So, for example, I know examples in the industry where people with not very great product, they actually achieved some success or even great success, and they build it. They basically catch up with the product later on because they had an initial good market understanding, good relations, good connections, and that helped them to start. So I would say that's how I would put it. And our case was, we were focused on technology. Our product wasn't good enough for the market with many different we built many different products, and mostly there was a market problem because we didn't know it well, and we didn't know how to sell to a sophisticated buyer, basically.
So the lesson maybe here is that distribution to your customer is more important than the product. Where do you lie with that?
I would say, I will not give you that simple answer. You need to balance well. And I would say the most important thing is being aware where you are. Like, what's your main benefit or advantage today? Do you have a great product? Do you have a great relationships? So basically, as the company evolves, this also might slightly change. So it basically being aware of where you are and what's your strengths and weaknesses, and basically using this in the most efficient way. That's and balancing between those two components. You definitely need to build relations. There is no way. You also need to have a great product. There is no way without that. It's more like, how do you come there, right? So if there is a point in time where you have, let's say, a couple of millions ARR, you have a great relationships and a great product, but how do you come there? Like, where do you start? Do you start from technology and then growing like a little bit in terms of like business go-to-market distribution? Or like, do you start from maybe the distribution first and like you selling like let's say half-baked prototypes already, and then you will need to catch up with technology. It's really hard to do both really good from the beginning, because it essentially requires a lot of time. Usually you don't have that time, so that's the problem.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm oversimplifying things. It's not that simple, but it's more like a kind of like levers you can think about. You know what I mean?
I think that the people think mostly about either like product and then distribution. So you can simplify it into those two buckets. However, within each of those areas, there are lots of complexities as well.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us then. What's the relationship first between Sunbeam and PVFarm? Maybe you already mentioned it, but if you could just reinforce that, and then
Sure.
tell us about each of them.
So Sunbeam is a partner basically within the So PVFarm is a product built by Sunbeam team, and essentially we partnered with our partner from the United States, so we made PVFarm essentially. That's the relationship. So Sunbeam has some other like small initiatives, and potentially in the future, hopefully we'll build more vertically integrated tools like PVFarm. So I would say that's the vision, but it depends on the many factors. Today, PVFarm takes all of the time I have. But again, we're still researching some areas, and potentially we'll kick off a bunch of other tools.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So, So maybe just explain then what Sunbeam does.
Let's put it again. It's a very simple. It's a built-in design automation or built-in design configuration, but in a way which is linked more to the construction, procurement. Basically, let's put it in that way. It's like, I like this niche, I would say, industries like solar PV, data centers, power stations, pump stations, essential energy production grid. I like those like industries, and they have like unique opportunity, especially like solar PV farms, for example. Those are objects that being built fairly quickly, like 6 to 12 months. You can build like 200 megawatt solar farm. So because of this kind of speed of this cycle, you can actually build a tool that will take into account those nuances from the construction restrictions, procurement restrictions, and you can build like more realistic design tool for the construction of those. Because like the end goal of any project in the build world is being built, right? This project needs to be built.
Atoms.
So and essentially when you have those like short cycles or like very mission critical kind of objects, you can actually build a proper vertical integrated tools that will have much more value rather than like a general, like, let's say, CAD software, which you can design whatever you want basically. So like, or Revit or whatever, any other design software, if it's a general purpose software, it's cool, but it doesn't have any intel from the actual deliverable, right? So, but then imagine you build a tool specifically for solar PV. You already kind of cut off like many things that you don't need, and you focused very well on those that you actually need. And that helps you to build tools faster, because like if you want to build like a general purpose, let's say CAD software, we see examples, right? We know how many years it took Autodesk to build AutoCAD, Revit, and all of that. Like it's like basically like 20 years or even more, right? So, it's just, life is too short, so it's easier to be, I would say, successful within those verticals for specific built-in types. And by linking this to a specific built-in type, you have an option to actually to go I would say deeper. So I have this, when I think about building types and all of that stuff, so horizontally we have like residential, commercial, offices, all of that, like energy infrastructure, all of that, right? And then vertically is like how deeply you want to go from the design or pursuit phase or like feasibility phase into construction. So the more you narrow the horizontal scope, the more in depth you can go in a, let's say, 4 years time.
Yeah,
That's how I think about it.
interesting. So with PVFarm, then, based on what you're saying about this vertical integration, so PVFarm being a product of Sunbeam, PVFarm, before PVFarm, were people designing like solar So okay, maybe we should just take a step back, explain what PVFarm is. You'll do a better job than me, but as far as I'm aware, it is effectively designing like layout of solar. We call them farms where solar power is.
Yeah, exactly. So first of all, like PVFarm, yes, it was built by Sunbeam, but it was a partnership with the partner from the US. So this partner brought a lot of expertise about how the projects are being built in general, and like basically that's where I found that I would say this type of partnership is, in my experience, much better than private equity or venture capital. It's just because someone brings amazing industry expertise and, let's say, money to the table, and then you bring software development and go-to-market expertise to the table. And if this kind of mix works really well, it's actually, I think, such partnerships, they have a much higher chances on success rather than a traditional VC approach, because those partners, they understand really well what does it take to change an industry a little bit, what does it take to build a tool,
like more
because
domain expertise in one specific area, right? Versus like
correct.
PE or VC.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's what I loved about it, and that's what kind of sparked the PVFarm. So it's not that we kind of like 4 years ago we didn't know about solar at all. So that's where we actually learned a lot of stuff working with the like real people who actually built real solar farms.
Yeah.
So that's the key, right? So the second part is that what PVFarm does, right? So what we did a lot of research in the beginning, and as any, let's say, residential house has like architectural, structural, mechanical, electrical, plumbing parts, the same solar PV farms. The main goal of the solar farm is to produce energy. So performance modeling is the key part, but there are electrical part, mechanical part, civil engineering part. And basically those disciplines, they work together and they make the layout essentially. And the key point is that when it's an industrial project, people in those disciplines, they tend to work in silos. Like they communicate with each other during handover or occasional meetings. However, like there are so many things which basically one discipline, when let's say electrical engineers make layouts great from an electrical standpoint, they usually fuck up the whole civil stuff.
Yeah.
So and that's like that. So that was initial idea, like build a proper collaboration. Yeah. But if you think about, I just don't want to throw these words like collaboration without putting meaning to
Go
it,
for it.
because everybody is doing right.
Yeah.
So the thing is that if you think about successful collaboration tools like Revista, for example, I think they did a good job in terms of like how people can communicate on top of 3D model. However, we don't see many successful, let's say, design tools where architects and structural engineers can collaborate together. Like even like if you take like Revit or like Tekla, Allplan, any other product. So the actual collaboration aspect is no one nailed it, basically. And obviously, like it's easier to nail collaboration during probably feasibility stage. But if you think about like someone doing an engineering job and then you need to kind of to hand it over to someone else, it's actually really tough. So it's a big deal. Collaboration is a very big deal, and it's not only like technology, because if you think about in order for tool to be collaborative for stakeholders, you need to cover every single discipline at the level, that's sufficient level so they can do their job, right? That's the first part of it. Then you need to make sure that those disciplines can work sequentially or in parallel, which is the second hard part of that job. And the third one is that you need to have something that will tell, is it working? Is it not? Like what? Like where are we going? Like how are we doing? What are our metrics? So it's actually very complicated process, and I think like when people talk collaboration, I think everybody's imagined like maybe, I don't know, emails and stuff, but it's not always like that, and it's a big deal basically.
Yeah. Fair enough. So you found that these people before were designing on like more horizontal software, right? Not and
Yeah.
what PVFarm is doing is actually more specialized. So if you are designing solar farms, effectively you have to use PVFarm, or you should be using PVFarm.
I wish, yeah, I want this to be true.
Yeah.
We have like
One
many
day.
competitors. Yeah, no, it's kind of, again, we're doing really well. We have like, you know, plenty of customers already. We
Yeah.
launched the product in January last year, so and it's going really well. We're happy with our early adopters, best people in the world. So and but you know, like it's a very competitive environment. There are many products actually. We have like more than, I would say, 10 competitors in different parts of the world.
So this must be a significant, like, honestly, like me as a layman, I don't know much about this industry. It doesn't feel like there's a huge market, honestly, but I guess it's growing, and it's a hot topic right now. So do you know like roughly what the kind of addressable market size would be roughly? This?
Yeah, let's put it in that way. You're right, it's not a huge market, especially if we will, you know, if we will start talking about, I don't even want to provide numbers for TAM or SAM, or like the best probably SOM, right? Service obtainable market is basically where you sell the software. And I think the size of the, let's say if we will take United States, and the amount of money people spend on design software, utility scale, solar PV farms, big solar PV farms, ground mount, it's going to be like around 150 millions. That's what they spend, the whole market. So essentially, if your ARR is 2 millions, you're already, you know, 1.5% of the industry, technically.
Yeah.
So if you think about this in that standpoint, then yeah, you're right, the market is not big.
Yeah.
However, it depends what's your goal. So like, it depends how you want to grow, where you want to be, what's your target in the next 5 years, how your product will change. It's like, it's a lot of factors, because if you think about, if you want the biggest market, yeah, you definitely should go and start building the tools that people use every day. Building Instagram, right? Pretty big market. Or even like something more like I don't, you know, like more like volume, more frequency. Obviously, there are many less people that actually design solar PV farms than people who design like all other building objects in the world, right? But again, if you have a good strategy, and if you know what kind of number you want to achieve in every specific market, and how you're going to grow from this number, and where you're going to grow, then it's, any market is good if your pro forma, if basically your financial pro forma works, then it works.
So you're saying
right?
that you could copy, like, nail the solar farms as like a concept perhaps, and then go into adjacent markets which might benefit.
You can
from a
go
similar
to
approach.
adjacent markets, but also you can grow your business again vertically further and increase the value among current customers. Think about this in that way. If I will take one of the 20 EPC contractors in the United States who build solar PV farms, so 5 people design solar PV layouts in every single of them. 50 people communicate and collaborate on those layouts, and 250 people build them. So you have a scale even within those companies.
Okay, yeah.
Just to give you an idea, like our average revenue per customer is around $40,000. So
It doesn't mean much to me, honestly. Yeah.
Okay, look, if you grab a let's say traditional, do you know the cost of, I don't know, Autodesk, Revit, AutoCAD, or like any like quantity takeoff tool, or like, yeah, right. So it's like a couple of thousand per year.
Okay, fine. All right, got you.
Yeah.
So you're effectively you're landing. So we use this term a lot in Bricks Bytes, but land and expand. Maybe you're familiar with
Okay.
it. But like you effectively like take a share of the land, and then you just slowly build out from there. Like and obviously retaining the customers you already have is cheaper than acquiring new ones.
Yep.
So it makes sense to build on what you already have. So within these companies, if like you say you're targeting the 5 designers to start, what can you offer the people that are planning, and then what can you offer the people that are building? Like it's I'm guessing it's not design software, or is it? Or is it like an evolution of the product which goes
I
outside of specifically design?
Yeah, I would say it's still a design software.
Mhm.
It's just more linked to the challenges you have on the construction side. Like think about this, like you can produce 2 different layouts and they will look maybe even similar, but one will be buildable, what we call buildable, and one will be non-buildable. So that's the difference, right? And they might look even the same. And that's why the 2 very different, I think there are 2 important terms in the industry in general. It's bankable and buildable. So I think the bankable tools, like an example of a bankable tool in the let's say solar PV industry, is the PVCist. They are bankable because they've been there like since 1992. So they developed tool when I was 2 years old. Amazing. So they are bankable. All the banks, if you're gonna go and like take money from a bank, they would require you to attach like report from the PVCist.
Yeah.
Simply because it's still been so many years in the market, so it's kind of trustable, right?
Yep.
Which is a big part of this construction industry in general. So the buildable is basically when your designs make sense,
Yep.
right? It's not that you can, generate anything and then make it work. That doesn't work like that, right? So you have a specific power purchase agreement, you have specific goals, and then you want to manage your risks, and you want to have a buildable design which will be possible to build and which will be possible to build within the amount of money you kind of planned for it, right? So that's essentially like what PVFarm does. We combine different areas of expertise into one software solution, and we allow people to kind of make a buildable designs. We allow people to collaborate, and what's also important, we allow people to craft their designs. Meaning, it's not just like hundreds of sophisticated algorithms. It's also the design capabilities. Meaning that you, at the end of the day, if you want to move a specific tracker or like specific object like couple of feet, east, west, north, south, you can always do that. You can reblock it and all of that. So basically it's a design tool for buildable layouts with collaboration and essentially option to optimize the project based on your financial performer, basically.
Yeah, very good. Okay. What was I going to ask? Something perhaps leaning into go-to-market, but it's lost me. Maybe I'll come back. Yeah. So, what's the go-to-market like? How? Oh no, I know the question. Sorry, it's just come back to me.
Okay,
It's
you go.
about how do you frame those discussions? So you have someone in as a customer on like the initial phase, like that. Let's say the 5 designers, and then you want to expand to the 50 collaborators. Is it a matter of like education perhaps, or do people get defensive when you start like trying to upsell them, for lack of a better term?
I would say there are many different situations, and especially if when you don't frame it well, people will be defensive. Like if you will come and say, okay, this is why I don't like this framing, like save time with PVFarm. I don't like that.
I don't like time savers.
Because yeah, exactly. Those this is the favorite like management, like because like every manager will expect from a engineer that they will start doing more job if they will be able to do a job like faster than they used to do.
Yeah. Plus, you know what I find? If you save more time, then what you really do is you just spend that time looking for more ways to save more time. So you never really actually save time on anything. I think it's one of the lamest claims that people can make.
Yeah, this really sucks. I hate it. I don't use it at all. But there is a different angle to it, which is again find more value. You can the same project can be designed in many different ways, and the thing is that you can find a way in which it's just gonna work better. You will produce more energy, or you will produce less energy, but you will spend much less. There are so many interesting trade-offs. Exploring those trade-offs in the most high quality kind of way, that's how we sell our platform. Especially like as solar PV is growing, basically there are worse and worse projects in terms of boundaries and complexities. Like the land, it used to be like rectangles, perfect rectangles where you just,
No
lay
hills,
down the track.
it's flat.
Yeah, it's not that anymore at
Yeah.
all. So basically the projects are complicated, and what it means is that you actually need to have a sophisticated tool that will help you to get as much value from that land as possible, and whatever it means. And it means different things for different people. So we usually focus on quality, basically figure out the optimization problems much better, and enjoy it during this process, because every engineer like tweaking, like, and like tinkering and all of that stuff. That's basically the part of the, I think, of our sales pitch, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. So this is like an industry that I could imagine is quite traditional, like untapped perhaps when it comes to technology, or definitely in the new age, bit like construction.
Yeah.
So what is effective go to market to these customers? What kind of channels do you find work, strategies? We can dive into that.
Yeah. So I don't think product-led growth worked for us. We use account-based marketing. So think about this in that way. We know every single company we want to sell our software to.
Yep.
Every single one, right? So if you know every single company you want to sell your software, you want to bring something valuable to them. Because like if you just will do a cold outreach, emails and stuff, that's not going to work. So the best things that works in our experience is whenever we help people with education, for example. Educational piece working really well. So we have like so many people basically reaching out to us after our webinars, where we just genuinely explore interesting problems from the industry and propose solutions. And that's basically it. It's kind of like, some people used to ask me like, don't you like, why you like kind of keep it so open? Why are you talking about this so openly? But that's actually what lacks a lot in the
I
construction
agree.
industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when you just genuinely go there and you're like, hey guys, look at this fucking project, and I used their blocks, like, and I got this, and look, I used, and it's amazing. This is actually what people love. So, and it brings a lot of folks to our site, to our website, and they talk to us and they love it. So educational piece is very important. Then I would say useful inbound, for me, inbound marketing is also great. So again, you give people something really valuable, they will come back. So I even like in the beginning we were like helping people to design their projects. Even like, hey, if you have a project, just call me, like book a chat with me. We'll use the PVFarm, we'll design it together. We will make a basically application for you together. And that's it. And also like people were asking like, hey, how do you do this? Do you do this for free? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. Like, because it's actually, it pays back so quickly.
Yeah.
Cannot even like, it's amazing. I love this. This one is working really well. And also referrals and introductions, building meaningful relations, talking to people. We visit our customers, we work together, we do brainstorming sessions, we involve them when we build AI shit and like all of that. So they love like being a part of that, because we drive a lot of innovation and we keep them close to that innovation. And so people love like basically being connected to things that being built, and that creates like a lot of engagement. And on top of that, we have this co-piloted trials, which we do, which is essentially we do trial of the software. Our software is like quite, at the moment, it's quite an engineering tool. So you need to dedicate a lot of time to learn how to use it. That's why for us it's crucial to explain to people the value, because if they will not understand the value, they will not have enough motivation to learn the tool. You know what I mean? So we do these co-piloted trials during which we basically go through their projects and design them together. And it creates a lot of spark and motivation to learn the tool. So that's how it's like no like top secret, man.
I think that you're tackling a good thing, because people, even now I speak to people that get defensive about like giving too much of their product away for what they think is free. But what they don't realize is that even if you're giving people, like you guys are leading with the value up front, doing some
effectively free work for them, no one is still going to take that and then be like, oh, thank you, see you then, I'm going to now know how to do everything, and I'm going to take it to your competitor and ask them to use it. I just don't think that's how relationships work. Maybe in an odd occasion it does, but generally not.
Yeah, but man, to be honest with you, if any of our competitors would book a call with me, I would do a demo for them.
Yeah. Nice. How do you get people to show up to a webinar?
Basically we use folks like you, like Solar Power World. We use Solar Power World. It's basically, they basically promote it. They have a huge audience. They promote it. We just come up with a topic. In like last couple of webinars, got like I think my last one we got like 600 people. It was great, really amazing. 600 people registered, and like there were like probably 350 showed up, and plenty of questions. Like webinars really work well. I don't know why. We put a lot of soul in it, to be honest with you. We like usually spend like, in order for us to prepare a webinar, we like spend collectively like 50, 60 hours. So we really put a lot of research in it. And I'm really happy to see when it's like, like useful and when people use it. And there are what also great, man, it's always, it enriches you back. It's funny that people write to me and they're like, oh, look, you just missed that shit. Or like, look, you could consider this here. So basically we also given like a lot of like learning back.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. Again, it's like you give something for free in a way, but it just comes back.
Win-win. Yeah, I agree.
In construction, precision matters. Every budget line, every schedule, every document. But too often, project data is scattered across tools and departments, creating risky silos. That's where ArcDesk comes in. ArcDesk is the all-in-one construction management platform designed to connect your entire project operation, from opportunity through to tender, all the way to handover. With real-time dashboards, cost control, scheduling, procurement, and document management in one place, ArcDesk gives you complete visibility and control. Trusted by contractors, subcontractors, and asset owners worldwide, ArcDesk has powered landmark projects from shopping centers to Europe's tallest buildings. If you're ready to reduce risk, protect your margins, and deliver projects with confidence, discover ArcDesk today and visit arcdesk.com, that's ARCH desk.com, and see how leading firms are building smarter with ArcDesk.
What doesn't work? What have you tried that doesn't work typically or go to market?
So basically, LinkedIn outreach doesn't work in my experience. Email marketing doesn't work. I'm not, when you send him 1,000 or 15,000 emails and one replied, for me, it doesn't work.
That's a low ratio.
You might argue, oh, it worked, but it doesn't. Even target advertising, or any like LinkedIn, Google Ads, doesn't work. I would say even like, I don't know what's going on right now with large language models and organic traffic and CEO and all of that.
AEO, man, that's the new one.
Yeah, it would work for our Creo product. It worked well. It works super well, but for PVFarm, I wouldn't even use it because it's so niche. So like, probably, so it didn't really produce meaningful results with our first attempts, and we just stopped on it. I would say also, one thing doesn't work when you hire a bunch of third-party vendors to do marketing for yourself. This doesn't work.
That's actually more of like a tick in the box. I think people do that as like a tick in the box exercise. Like, yeah, we're doing it. We're marketing.
Yeah.
As opposed to really like, perhaps what you're insinuating here is like the time and effort and internal knowledge required in order to market effectively is you just think like, oh, we'll hire an agency, they'll do it for us and it's done.
Yeah.
No good. Interested, you mentioned that the product is like takes a while to get maybe I'm butchering your words, but like is perhaps takes a while to learn. Do you see the interface of technology in the age of AI like adapting much? And like you mentioned Copilot as well, which sparked my question.
Yeah. So look, first of all, we absolutely try to leverage large language models to decrease the threshold, the
Mm.
entry threshold. We have already a beta program where you can actually speak to AI chatbot and it will design for you, but not like in a way, like in a dumb way, like you basically connected LLM to your model. No, it will design, like it will basically recommend you some workflows. It will guide you through those workflows. It will give you insights on why you got what you got. So like I would say we called it meaningful AI. So we definitely try to use it. I don't know yet if it's gonna work or not. We're gonna launch like a beta program in the next actually couple of days, and we'll see. Basically, the expectation is that it will help us to decrease the level of complexity on the product. Also, I think like we should not have a help center in the future in a traditional way, because it all can be fed to the AI assistant, which will help you to actually go through the platform, which again also seems like a no-brainer as of today, right? It's more like commodity already, so it's not new. Like everybody should be doing this, right? So it's I don't even feel great about talking about it because it's so obvious for everybody already. Yeah. But essentially, we absolutely do have those expectations, but also we put like my co-founder and partner. Ben, he's working a lot on usability improvements. Like, let's say in the traditional way, we try to make product more accessible to people. And also, we try to add a lot of educational kind of part to it. Because again, when you try to make a tool that does the job of, let's say, 5-6 different people, and then you try to make one of those people use the tool from 0 to 1, it's impossible, basically. It needs to be like a very kind of person that understands all the silos, all the disciplines together, which quite rare. That's why we kind of try to leverage this. Absolutely, we try to do it from all possible angles to decrease the amount of time people need to learn our platform. Like, I know that my partners, my co-founders, and my team will be embarrassed will I say that, but I think it takes around 40 hours to learn our platform.
Yeah, I think it's actually an interesting point, because we also got to think that it's easy to jump on a bandwagon with these things and like do something because it's cool to do within the age of large language models. But if that's not how your target customer is used to operating or working, then it probably won't go down too well. And then they'll just go to maybe perhaps a competitor that has like listens to them and builds a product as they want. And then secondly to that, it must be very difficult because of how rapidly evolving these things are to actually say, right, we're going to invest some time to change whatever according to what's hot within the age of AI at the minute. But then to realize like, oh, you could have waited 2 months and you would have been able to implement that feature for like a tenth of the cost or whatever it might be.
Yeah, but the cost is not great in general, so it's not that huge. I would say the biggest cost is that you need to have your couple of engineers who will be 100% time dedicated to that. That's the biggest cost. But again, I think in the current world, it's just no brainer. You should absolutely like no one has choice. AI is there. You should absolutely squeeze max out of it. It's not an option anymore. So it's not. Man, everything changed. My job changed a lot. The things I used to dedicate like days and weeks to complete, now I'm doing like much faster. But now it's like I'm shifted. I'm doing other things which I never had time to do, instead of those that now I do faster. So it's like I can see that my workday changed a lot in the past like 2 years, basically.
Yeah.
Although I'm doing like the same kind of founder, many hats type of work, it is changed a lot, and I don't think it's an option anymore. AI is there again. It's not great for building design optimization problems. It's not deterministic. It's a large language models. There are hundreds of things where it will not work. However, there are like so many things where it works really well already today. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. What's your viewpoint on? I'm asking this. It's the end of July currently, but yesterday we just had an episode on Bricks and Bytes about vibe coding, and like perhaps where that where that might be
Yeah.
going. I'm curious, and I want to ask you because you actually are involved in the world of artificial intelligence before it got trendy as well, before it was
Yeah.
cool. So what's your views?
Look, building first version of tools became extremely easier. However, building a well thought out, robust tools is still very complicated and requires more than just vibe coding. Also, finding a gap in a value chain where your tool will be extremely useful is also complicated. I'm thinking about this in a way is that yes, you can build like the first prototype much easier today than 4 years ago. 100%. Does it help you to build a successful business? Absolutely it does. But there are like two additional components to that. Business model itself, finding those gaps and the problems that you want to solve is complicated. So much noise in the market. So I would say in general, the way how you build stuff changed, but it's still complicated. Like if it was easy, we would already see like dozens of companies in the AEC that are extremely successful. Where are those companies? Yeah.
This is a major issue with all of this stuff as well. Is really, we joked about it yesterday about like Lovable recreating DocuSign. There's a long story behind that, but like whilst you may be building DocuSign, you're not building DocuSign. Like you're not like building the distribution, the trust,
Yeah.
the recognition throughout all legal companies and so on and so forth through the world. So I actually think that we're in a massive hype bubble. Actually, is probably what the
Absolutely. But also
what I'm
like
saying.
if you whenever you listen, let's say to Andrei Karpathy, and then he sees that he speaks about vibe coding and he speaks that he built a tool which basically reads your restaurant menu and makes a PDF version of it with the pictures. Again, amazing. Building such tools definitely became much easier. Now, we're building a data center in London. How can AI help me to build it faster, better, cheaper? I don't know. Like it's not, this is the thing. It's just fucking complicated, man. It's not that simple.
Well, construction takes what it takes, right? And everyone's like, man, it's 24 months. Like, it's 24 months. Like that's how long it takes.
Yeah.
Whatever
Fair
it might
enough.
be. Hey, Maxim, tell us about your Go Kill framework for vetting product ideas.
Oh, I already forgot about that. Yeah. I used to, yeah, it's a, I used to, because in Creo in the early years, we launched like 4 products and we needed to shut them down because we just, there was no market or like we didn't understand it well. So I thought maybe I should just sit and like start thinking about what do I need to consider in order to build a great product. And that's how I came up with that basically diagram, which is like Pythagore tree diagram, basically in all directions. And essentially it's actually very simple. You have a problem, you have a market, you have a solution. Basically, you connect all those dots and you see what you can build. Again, super easy. It's just more like basically. I think the main message of this framework is that. Before you jump into building any ideas you have, you just sit and double check, make yourself aware of like how expensive it's going to be to build it to the stage where you will be able to start selling it or raising money. Like how many years would it take, and like how you're going to do like a distribution and stuff like that. It's actually very simple now. I don't even think it's that complicated. Back then for me it was like it's so complicated. Now think about it more like just being reasonable, connecting the dots, doing a very proper market research, doing your homework, understanding technology, understanding your customer profiles. Feels like today it feels for me like the same, like eat healthy, do like 10 push-ups every morning, like, and you generally will feel great. That's that's how it feels today for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the principles don't really change. Yeah, speaking to people, understanding the market, building a bit of product, not going and spending their life savings and building something without getting instant feedback or constant feedback as well.
Yeah.
What's your views on because you're obviously you sit in the seat of the CEO. So you're also technical, right? So You do have a technical background.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Like how okay, so what do you what does a role entail, and do you have any strong thoughts on how to be a great CEO?
No.
Fair enough.
It's it's complicated. It's very I think it's thinking about your people in a way. More like, yeah, I believe in people, and I mean it sounds, maybe it sounds too simple, but I think like the whole point of running any kind of SaaS software business is basically understanding the people you have, understanding technology limitations, understanding the market, and basically orchestrating all of it in a way that it works, essentially. So you need to put people, like, I have many people that I used to try. I had this brilliant person in my team, very intelligent, but we used to try to make him do the job that he's not good at it. But there are like other parts of the job that he is extremely
Yeah.
great. Like I don't try to change like people, and I don't try them. If someone have a very deep knowledge in one area, I would focus this person on this area, and I will triple down on this area, and I will not make this person to do anything that this person is not particularly great. And then I will try to assemble the team, define the core people, define the someone who kind of can lead the direction. And basically that's it. You basically orchestrate the people, you think about their own like motivation and stuff. You think about your own motivation. You speak honestly, openly to those folks. You always like bring those people to the table. You like talk, okay guys, look, what do we want to do? Like, do we want, like, what do you want to do? Like, why are you working? Like, why are you working?
Why?
Like, do
Why
you
are you here?
yeah, do you have a mortgage, or like what's the why are you working even? Like, so basically having those conversations and like understanding things well, perspectives well, and then basically I like this controlling this a little bit chaotic environment. That's why I like startups. I don't like scaling things. I like building things. For example, right now in PVFarm, we have plenty of areas where we're already scaling. So we have things that been bought really easily, and we see people loving them. But I still I move myself closer to the research because I like, for example, building. But also I have this honest conversation with my co-founders where I'm like, hey guys, what do you like? This is what I like. Let's talk about it. How can we because when you do something that you truly love, you're just gonna do it better. Yeah.
I agree. You know what you sound like you're describing? I had a conversation with someone yesterday who is the sales leader. I was the chief revenue officer of a company that was acquired for a few hundred million, like 4 or 5 years ago, whatever. And he said that he works with great CEOs. And he says great CEOs have two traits. I hadn't heard this before, but it's interesting that what you're describing it, and I've connected the dots in my head. A vision, like a very strong vision, and deep empathy for the people that they work with. And you kind of just said that, like understanding your team and what motivates them, and who's good at what, and who can drive the team forward, and then how you talk to them, like why are you here, like what are you, why do you want to build what we're building, and painting that picture to them. What I also found interesting is the person who I just mentioned. They also worked with a founder who has those traits, very empathetic and can paint a strong vision. And this founder said to me that he understands his team to the level of like he'll have people within his team. I hadn't thought about this before, by the way, that are like insanely good at like sprinting. Like you can put them on a job, 1 to 3 days for like 8, 9, 10 hours, and they will just get shit done. But then they will probably be burnt out for a week after and do nothing.
Sure.
Like not nothing, but like very ineffective. But he says as long as you understand that and they're good and you can put them to play at that like kind of level, then hooray, everyone wins. It's like when you're trying to force people who do that to like get into an office at 8 o'clock and like be there just to be there. Those kind of problems start to arise, and perhaps you're not doing your self justice.
I would agree with this. We even have like when we plan, but however, there is important. I would still say that we have discipline involved. But and also when we plan our year, we usually like plan. Okay, we will have a chill releases, where our date of release is like floating. So we will release whenever we're ready, but also we have a hard deadline releases, and we usually make them like one after another. just to balance a little bit. So we kind of try to balance it, and also like we have people in the team who actually work like with a constant like steadily all the time, like straight line.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they do it. I myself
Yeah. I would agree.
like that. So I'm like, I can like smash everything like in one weekend, but then Monday and Tuesday will be.
Yeah, I get that as well. When you get into
Yeah.
something, this weird like possessive energy takes over you, where you're just like, whoosh, like
Yeah.
straight on it, and you achieve miraculous things like flow state work, right? But then on the flip
exactly.
side, you will suffer a few days after for doing so.
But however, I would still say that some level of discipline is very important still. So we kind of try to find this balance, and yeah, I like how you put it together. How the guy you talked to put it together. So I'll definitely listen to this podcast. I listen to many of your podcasts.
But this one's not out yet. We haven't actually even recorded it, so we will be recording next week. I'll make sure to pick that up for you.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Interested in your thoughts about what makes successful products within AEC. I think maybe we touched on like go to market and whatnot earlier, but if there's something specific that comes to mind when I ask that, in like the companies you've perhaps been involved with or touched in your career, like what do you think makes a successful product generally?
I think it's a good balance between in AEC in general. I started my attempts to be successful in AEC back in 2016, end of 2016. So it's almost 10 years already. And I would say that, we initially tried to be very innovative, bold vision, innovative, disruptive, like we're going to disrupt this industry. And we just didn't do a shit. So, and then we were kind of sent to the other side. We were like, okay, let's analyze competitors and let's just build stuff what they have, but better. So, and we also went particularly great. And I think the good thing came from understanding that it's a balance between innovative solution and the solution that does job done, essentially. So you basically, it's like, if you think about it, it's like optimization criteria, and you can like tweak them. You can make it higher innovation and then focus less on that. I'm like, you see, every time I think about anything, I'm like, I have this engineering kind of trade-off mindset. So I don't think you can do both. I don't think you can do everything, but basically balancing between those things is the key. I think, let's say if you're building a new tool and you want to be established, and this is an established market, then you definitely you have to check the competitors, you have to check their products, you have to understand why people buying those products, right? But at the same time, you need to have some innovation, you need to have some cherry on cake, you need to build your own vision and all of that. So basically, I think the best founders in AEC I saw, they basically balanced well in those fields. Yeah.
Okay, nice, cool. Okay, maybe a last topic I think would be an interesting one as well. How do you think, okay, this is a weird way to ask it, but whatever. How do you think that your trajectory might have differed if you were building in San Francisco versus London?
Oh, I don't know. I would say, like, man, when I moved to London, things became much easier than when I was in Belarus. And we spent so much time basically moving out of Belarus, and it was difficult back then. But again, I don't think it's that difficult today, probably. But back then we had this. So basically, the sanctions and stuff like that. So I would definitely say if we started right away in London, we would be much more successful, much faster. And I think that's the same appropriate because you're just closer to the market, closer to your customers. Again, I think it's not about where you are in terms of like financial funding and all of that. Probably San Francisco works really well. However, it doesn't mean much. Again, do you want to build a company which was over evaluated? Like, I don't know, inflated, then eventually, at some period of time, it will end up down round and all of that. So it's just, I don't know. I feels like again, it depends on what you want to build. Do you want to build a unicorn? Do you want to be like? It depends. For example, I personally like solving complicated engineering problems, and like having a business which produces even like I don't know 45 millions a year is really good business.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
if you own still, let's say even 10% of that. If that's a business that produces like 5 million ARR and you still own more than 50%, amazing, amazing.
I think what people forget as well about San Francisco is like you still have to find your customers. Like your customers are not gonna just be in San Francisco. Maybe one or two, but there's also going to be one or two in wherever around the US, around the globe, around Europe,
Yeah.
UK, Australia, whatever it might be. So I think that's something to think about. Do you find much of a like a community or specifically within London of people building AEC tech products, or do you feel it's a little bit isolated?
I don't think there are like a physical boundaries, because everything is kind of online. So you can talk to pretty much anyone you want. I think it's just generally better to be located in such places, because when you want to meet someone, you have this opportunity, and which is always great to meet someone, like face to face. However, I would say mostly it's everything within reach. So
Yeah.
I don't think there are any kind of issues. So I could easily work remotely if I had an option to travel, basically whenever I want. So I could easily work remotely.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. How about managing a decentralized team? Because I know you are a remote
It
company.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would choose to have an office, to be honest with you, if I had this option.
Yeah.
I think that's what people don't understand, that actually remote company is not just having Zoom calls every day or like Google Meet calls or Teams calls. So we did our retreat in Krakow, Poland,
Nice.
actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, we brought people from United States, Spain, Italy, Belarus, Poland, Georgia, like many places basically.
Yeah.
That was amazing. So it's just amazing to see people and to work together and brainstorm together, to do like a marshmallow challenge or like some other shitty challenge.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. But like I would choose to. I remember those times where we were all together in the office. It was amazing time.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely miss it. Yeah.
Do you have like protocols or anything that you follow as a team or even individually to because I get it, like even me working behind my desk in my home office mostly 5 days a week. I mean, I have an office and there's other people that I can speak to there, but I am like 80% here, and I do get days where I'm just like, oh man, I need to be out. I need to go somewhere to be around people.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yeah, I do. And I would say again, we don't have like many protocols. We don't have even like working time. So we don't ask people to be online. It's kind of like we never talk about it actually. So like basically when we hire new people, I always say, look, if you're working with A, B, C, D people, just make sure that you are available for some period of time when those people are working. Obviously, I'm not talking about DevOps person. If production is down, you should be fucking here.
Fair enough.
I'm talking about someone who is just not kind of operations critical. We don't have any restrictions. So yeah, no protocols, nothing like that. In terms of my personal work, I noticed that we started to have like all our most of our clients, they're from United States. So, and I live in London, so my day shifted towards the evening. That's why I like to do in the morning, like like slow morning, coffee, jiu-jitsu, cycling, enjoying my life, and then
Yeah.
afternoon, Merry Christmas, and fucking working, you know.
Hey,
So that's yeah.
yeah, I love it. I love it. Love it. Okay, as you mentioned it, I wasn't going to ask this question, but we had a good chat about jiu-jitsu before.
Okay.
I don't actually know if many of our listeners are jiu-jitsu fans. I'll be very interested to hear. I've had this fantasy. Well, I don't know, call it fantasy is probably a little bit strong, but whereby if when Bricks and Bytes are traveling on the road, we could get like this little like AEC tech jiu-jitsu community together where like everyone is there. We just have some fun rolls, because what a great way to to bond with your peers. I think something great. But
Yeah,
what is your go-to submission?
lapel choke.
Lapel, really?
Yeah, lapel choke.
Ah,
It's 100% is my favorite, and yeah,
sneak attack.
sneak attack.
Yeah, fair enough.
Mm.
Okay, cool.
I also now I really love doing knee bars as I'm allowed.
Mm-hmm.
So toe holds amazing. I'm like yeah, toe holds amazing. But general, I would say also my go-to is you know this shotgun grip when you basically one hand controls the sleeve, another one like the triceps, and you actually there are so many great ways of entering the armbar. So
Yeah.
yeah, you can. Yeah, you need to visit our gym on Sunday.
Yeah.
This, come join us this Sunday. Fight Zone London, 10 a.m. So it's an open mat. So,
oh yeah. Oh man, it's so
yeah.
far from me. It's like the other side of London. Problems. All right, dude. Cool. All right, Maxim. Like, we always ask people where they can find out more about you, but I think it's pretty freaking obvious. We feel like we should probably update that question. That has been with us since day one of Bricks Bytes, so we'll work on that. But LinkedIn, I'm gonna give everyone the answer.
Yeah.
All right.
You guys doing great. You guys doing great job. I really enjoy seeing how you're growing
Yeah.
professionally. Yeah, I watch a lot of. I watch many episodes. I like that you do collab with Patrick. How do you call it? I don't know what's that. Maybe he's yeah.
The
Is it collab?
live stream. Oh yeah, the Bricks Bytes collaboration. Yeah. He rent.
Yeah, you should tell Patrick that his I would say that his content and his thinking is underrated in the industry.
Yeah.
So basically, the stuff he does when they basically kind of research the different companies, compare financial metrics, and the blogs he is writing. Whenever I read it, I always kind of see it so little likes because there are
Man, it's too good. That's the issue. They're not optimizing for the algorithm. I need to tell him this. He needs to adopt the creator mindset and start posting memes instead of useful content.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, but honestly, there's like I think I could bring any subject to Patrick's table. He will either give you two responses. I don't know, or he will give you some long explanation and a very good few anecdotes and some well-structured conclusions around his thinking.
I was, you know, when I was listening to your conversation about data centers or nuclear power plants, you know that my specialty, I graduated nuclear power station construction. So I was like, I wanted to jump in a couple of comments because you guys were talking, and I was like, wow, come on! Like,
oh man, we need you.
It was really fun. Yeah.
We'll sort one of them out. All right, let me hit stop here.